Title: Bullies wrenched the cheerleader's jacket off. Her revenge left his fingers bent backwards. Intro: Powerful hook. The courtyard of Briarwood High buzzed like a wasp's nest. Backpacks shuffled. Laughter rang out. A soccer ball rolled across the concrete. But at the center of it all was Leila Hart, standing beneath the oak tree with her hands wrapped tightly around her backpack straps. Her breath fogged slightly in the cool morning air, but her jaw was clenched in silent tension. She could feel it: the stares, the whispers, the eyes crawling up her back like snakes. And then came his voice, slicing through the crowd like a blade. "Hey, Barbie. Miss Perfect thinks she's too good for us now?" She turned slowly. And there he was. Derek Collins. Senior. Quarterback. Charmer on the outside. Tyrant behind closed doors. Behind him stood his usual wolves: Mark, with the ever-tight smirk, Jace, who laughed at everything, and Tyler, whose only job seemed to be intimidating anyone smaller than him, which was most people. They didn't just run the football team. They ran the school. Leila took a step forward. But in one sudden movement, Derek grabbed the collar of her varsity jacket and wrenched it off her shoulders so forcefully that it tore at the seams. Gasps echoed around them. Her jacket, a symbol of everything she had worked for, now lay on the concrete like garbage. And the cheerleaders? The students? The teachers? They just stood there. Laughing. Staring. Saying nothing. Backstory: who was Leila? Leila wasn't born a fighter. She was born a dreamer. Raised by a single mother who worked nights cleaning hospital floors and a father who died in an accident when she was only 11, Leila learned early that life didn't hand you anything. You had to earn it. Every medal. Every smile. Every second of peace. She joined the cheer squad not for popularity but for structure. Discipline. A chance to rise above. And she did. Team captain. Top grades. Volunteer work. She should have been celebrated. But success, especially quiet, humble success, made her a target. She didn't flirt back. She didn't play dumb. She didn't beg. So they hated her for it. The build-up, the bullying intensifies. The jacket incident was just the beginning. In the weeks that followed, the bullying escalated. Her locker was spray-painted with the words "Plastic Princess." Someone slashed her cheer sneakers. Once, they even poured a bottle of Gatorade into her gym bag, ruining her textbooks. She reported it. Nothing changed. In the teacher's lounge, Derek was just a kid who needed guidance. In the principal's office, the boys were just teasing. The message was clear: you're alone. Even her teammates grew distant. They were scared. Understandably. Because if Leila could be targeted, the strongest among them, then no one was safe. One night, after practice, Leila sat alone in the school parking lot with her torn jacket in her lap. She looked at the stitching her mom had done by hand. Tears rolled down her cheeks. "I'm so tired of this," she whispered. But in the silence that followed, a spark flickered in her chest. What if she stopped waiting to be saved? What if she became the storm? The transformation training begins. The very next morning, she made a decision. She visited Nina, her cousin, a former military hand-to-hand combat instructor now running a small martial arts studio downtown. "I need to learn to defend myself," Leila said, voice firm. "Not to fight, but to finish it." Nina was hesitant. But she saw something in Leila's eyes, a fire too bright to ignore. And so the training began. 6 a.m. Before school. 7 p.m. After practice. Strikes. Grapples. Escapes. Leila threw herself into it with an obsession that scared even Nina. Every punch she landed echoed with the memory of Derek's laughter. Every block she mastered drowned out the whispers and insults. Pain became fuel. Exhaustion became growth. Fear became focus. Nina taught her more than technique, she taught her mindset. You don't just defend your body, Nina said one evening. You defend your worth. The final confrontation, homecoming week. Homecoming week arrived. The gym was buzzing with energy. Banners fluttered. Cheers echoed. Leila, standing at the center of the court, smiled through the noise. No one knew she was different now. But Derek, he couldn't stand it. During the pep rally, as the lights dimmed and the crowd cheered, he made his move. Backstage, Leila stepped into the hallway to grab her water and found herself blocked in. Derek. Mark. Tyler. Still pretending you're something special? Derek sneered. Leila's hands curled into fists. Move. He stepped closer. I don't take orders, sweetheart. And that's when he grabbed her arm. But Leila didn't flinch. In one fluid motion, she broke his grip, spun his arm outward, and twisted his fingers back until they cracked at the knuckles. Derek howled. Tyler lunged only to be dropped by a sweep of her leg. Mark froze, watching his two friends writhing on the floor. Students gathered. Phones came out. And Leila stood tall, chest heaving, hair falling out of its ponytail. Try me again, she said quietly, and you'll leave in an ambulance next time. The aftermath, consequences and change. The video went viral. The school administration, once complacent, now faced public outrage. Derek and his friends were suspended, later expelled for multiple violations. Parents demanded reforms. An anti-bullying program was launched. But more importantly, girls came forward. Leila's DMs flooded with messages. Thank you. You gave me hope. I'm not afraid anymore. And Leila? She kept training. She began holding self-defense workshops for students after school. Both girls and boys showed up. Even teachers attended. She wasn't just a cheerleader anymore. She became a symbol of resilience. Ending, powerful message. One day, after a session, a freshman girl named Ava came up to her. They used to call me a nobody, Ava whispered. But after I saw what you did, I feel strong. Leila smiled and knelt to her level. You've always been strong, she said. You just needed someone to remind you. Loudspeaker call to action, you can read this in your video outro. Speech balloon. If this story inspired you, drop a comment below. What would you have done in Leila's place? Have you ever faced something like this? Let's talk about it. Thumbs up, hit that like button if you believe silence should never protect bullies. Bell and make sure to subscribe to Be Kind Always for more emotional and powerful stories every week. Because sometimes, kindness is standing up. And sometimes, it's fighting back.